Hi, I'm Lyndon Bradfield. I work with Global Railway Engineering. I'm one of the engineers that worked with the Scheffel bogie from the early days. What I'm going to show you today is how the Scheffel bogie works, its basic principles, its advantages, and a comparison between it and a non-steering bogie. The Scheffel bogie is a true self-steering bogie. What this means is that the axles can radially align themselves in curves, meaning that the flanges do not touch the rail. What that means is that we have advantages in reduced rail wear, reduced wheel wear, high stability, which means high speed, reduced wheel, or in fact eliminated wheel squeal, and a reduced carbon footprint. Reduction of rail wear occurs as a result of the flanges not touching the rail. Typically, we're finding a reduction in the order of 20 times of rail wear on the high leg in curves. Because the wheels are in pure rolling, all four wheels are running on the rail without any slipping at all. With no slipping, there's also no or very reduced crown wear. Wheel wear works hand in hand with rail wear. The axles can align themselves radially in the curve, and the bogie allows radial movement. So as the bogie moves into the curve, it takes up a steering position with the axles pointing towards center of curvature. This allows the bogie to go around the curve without touching its flange. Being in a pure rolling condition, all four wheels are touching and rolling purely without any slip. So tread wear is drastically reduced and flange wear is totally eliminated. The bogie is provided with shear pads which allow the axles to move freely under the side frames and take up their radial position. At the same time, the shear pads have a certain amount of damping and a coefficient of friction which allows you to control the stability of the bogie. And this bogie is typically designed to operate at 140 kilometers an hour. With the fact that the flanges are not touching the rail, we are running in pure rolling, and you have no slip between the rail and the wheel, and hence no wheel squeal. In a pure rolling condition, the tractive effort to pull a self-steering bogie around a curve is basically the same as pulling it on the straight. This means there's a drastic reduction in fuel consumption. It also means a reduction in flange wear, rail wear, tonnage of rails consumed, tonnage of wheels consumed. We have now proved that this is a significant reduction in the carbon footprint of any railway. The Scheffel bogie is a three-piece bogie, capturing all the advantages of a typical three-piece bogie. The conventional bogie is also three-piece. When we talk of three-piece, we're talking about a side frame, and a bolster. And the Scheffel bogie having the same. What we have added is this green portion, which is what we call the steering mechanism. This allows the axles now to take up radial positions, as opposed to the non-steering bogie, where the axles are held rigidly parallel and they cannot take up a steering position. All they can do is lozenge slightly. For the sake of a demonstration, we're going to compare these two bogies going through identical curves. It's a reverse curve that they'll be running through, and we place a weight on the bolster to partly represent the mass of the body that's on the bogie. These bogies, both of which are free to operate, free to run on straight track. They run totally freely. For the non-steering bogie, I'm going to give it a fair shove, whereas the steering bogie, just a gentle run off on the gradient of the track. As you can see, the Scheffel bogie runs without touching its flange freely around the curve. Another aspect of self-steering is because the flange never touches the rail, the Scheffel bogie will go over without derailing. Just in case the example that I'm going to show you looks a little bit ridiculous, here's a picture of what actually happens on the line in Africa, where the Scheffel bogie is operating very safely. What you're going to see now is a simulated break in the track, and the difference between a steering bogie going over that break and a non-steering bogie.